have a full house today, virtual at least, and we're here to talk about Christmas in July with Corey Moss's fun film White Elephant. With me on the call, I have Lana. Lana, how can you please pronounce your last name for me? I apologize.
Sure, no worries. It's McKissack.
Oh,
I'm
actually, I
gonna.
had it right. All right, Lana McKissack. We have Paul Karmiryan,
Karmiryan.
CoCo Jones, and of course Corey Moss. Thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Corey, tell us a little bit about White Elephant, where that comes from for you. Is it more of a personal story? Because I'm very curious as to some of the plot lines that we see.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I kind of feel like all art is personal, and every little thing in there is probably connected in some way to something that I've experienced, and I think from a broad perspective, like I grew up with in a family of really competitive people, and we did a white elephant that was really big and competitive and ridiculous and hilarious, and so I think that just kind of always stuck with me and was always something that I associated with Christmas and everything like that. And then I think digging deeper into the character arcs in this movie, like I'm just fascinated by the different things that you go through in your mid-20s, and sort of the decisions of having kids, or whether or not the relationship is going to work, and those types of things. And it's something I feel like you don't see in movies as much. You kind of, I think, tend to see sort of more on the younger side or more on the older side. So yeah, that was really the inspiration, kind of bringing those two things together. And then from a practical standpoint, I really like the idea of doing movies that have a single location and confining all of the story and action and everything in that way. And it's been really fun. I've done it now as a producer on a handful of different movies, and then this was my first time as a director and a writer. But so yeah.
Like you're mentioning, having it all in one location, it seems like it'd be easier, but I think for the actors and actresses, despite them being professionals, it's a little bit more challenging because now it's all on you. It's not the set. It's about the way you convey your emotions and you interact with the rest of the people on stage. um so it feels a little bit more like a theater, like a play, and I like that because it turns it a lot more personal. I know that I was drinking my coffee as I was watching it, as some of the interactions were happening. I mean, especially between PJ and Mary when things go down. I'm just kind of, I felt like I was in the room with them. Can you guys talk about preparing for a role like that, where it's going to be all character?
I personally think it had its challenges, but it also had things that were kind of liberating and freeing. We got lucky because we had a rehearsal process prior to filming, a few days of rehearsals, which actually helped us prepare so well and actually get to know the cast and run lines and rehearse and all of these things. So I think whenever we got on set, we were of course, there were certain blocking and choreography that we needed to work out, but at the same time, we felt very confident in our lines and in terms of our understanding of the characters and our characters and jumping in. So it was kind of just letting go of that and just uh, bringing ourselves to the character, which you don't get a lot of that for other projects. That whole rehearsal process. So what was cool though was Corey gave us the freedom to find our own blocking and find our own choreography with our castmates, and that kind of gave room to find little nuances and things that we kind of just discovered on our own, and cool things that would pop up. Me and Corey were talking well, we were all talking about this earlier, but like there were moments where me and my co-star Carmela, we had a scene together, and then we naturally gravitated to the couch and had like this cuddling position, and it was kind of like a sweet moment. So we wouldn't have found that if it was kind of like, okay, your blocking is this. It was kind of just something that naturally came about and felt right. And I think a lot of people found moments like that, especially whenever we were trying to figure out who's giving the gift to who, and how all that's supposed to happen, or opening the gift, the bowl, like all of that stuff was just crazy because we had a limited amount of space, but we also had to just take advantage of the space. So that was kind of my 2 cents on it.
There's something that comes up between Mary and PJ. I don't know how much I really want to give away because it's a great part of the film. But I want to ask for you, CoCo, what is your opinion as far as how do you think this would have been such a problem if the information had been revealed earlier within closer to the college days?
Do I think what would have been a problem?
Revealing what PJ finds out about.
That would have been a problem at any time. I mean, obviously, because there's been so long since what transpired, there's more hurt there because I think there's more time that you invest in that person. So you probably go back to when that happened and then everything that's happened since then, and you can add more layers to the betrayal because it was kept a secret for so long. I honestly think everything's better out on the table, and who knows, maybe they wouldn't have ended up married at the end of the film, but either way, I definitely think, it was more hurtful because it was such a long time ago that these things happened, and neither one of us said anything, and we're so close to PJ in the film, so for sure.
It just really seems like as time progresses, naturally it just gets harder and harder, like you mentioned.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Me personally, I probably would be so overcome with guilt that it would just spew out that same 24 hours.
Yeah, because I really don't blame PJ's reaction, because it's such an intimate moment between friends, and then for that to come out, and for the item to have been so important, and then now kind of flipped, it hurts. But I like the realistic approach on how they handle it, though, and kind of just hashing it out, and then kind of everything we thought was going to go through in the film as far as some of the actual revelations that we had learned in the beginning just ended up spewing out. I thought it was really, really well made.
Definitely. I've said in previous interviews that I thought the film was really well written because every couple has these interesting stories and these plot twists in a way that just keep the audience engaged. And I feel like that's a crucial part of a good film is like, keeping your audience wondering what's going to happen on the edge of their seats. And I feel like this film definitely takes you through all those emotional roller coasters and then ends with a good, solid, happy ending, which we love to see in the name of Christmas.
Lana, let me ask you, how much do we change in 5 years?
How much do we change?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on which 5-year period it is. I would say there are huge changes, between 15 and 20, obviously. And then probably right after college as well. Probably not so much of a big change after 30 to 35, 35 to 40. I don't know. But do you mean in what context?
In the context, well, of the film, of the age groups of kind of transitioning from maybe right out of college all of a sudden to marriage and kids and career choices, maybe.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big period of change because, you've got people, that's a period of major life decisions. Like some people are starting families and some people are, finding partners. People are buying houses. People are, really finding out who they are. But going back to your previous question, I think PJ was a little justified in being pissed. She maybe didn't need to lash out at certain people, but yeah, holding a secret from your best friend and your girlfriend for years and years is not okay. And they were wrong.
Agreed.
Yeah, it probably would have made for a better fifth white elephant Christmas if that had already been squashed.
Yeah.
Scott, I mean, sorry, Paul, your character Scott, I found it really interesting because I felt that Carmela kind of just, she knows you, obviously you guys have been in a relationship as Joey. I felt like she really jumped the gun to assume how you'd feel. And despite it may be a shock, I think I think it's something that would have been a lot easier if, like in this other instance, if it would have been laid out on the table.
Yeah. Um, I definitely agree. I think that she, I think also she was going through the idea that she wasn't even ready to tell me. I think that was more so uh, Joey's dilemma. Um, and she didn't want to see how I would react because you get used to your lifestyle, you get used to things that, like you especially mine and Carmela's character were just so young, and I think that it took them a little bit longer to grow up. So I think she assumed that I wouldn't react in the best way. And I honestly I don't know how I would react in real life truly, because I've never been through that. I've never heard that I'm having a kid or whatever it is, and for someone to hold that information from me.
Well, congratulations, Paul. We're all here to tell you you're
Yeah.
having a kid.
What? Yeah, I mean that in itself, having a kid, it's like it's a completely different life shift and lifestyle change. And so I think she knew that Scott didn't want a lifestyle change. He wanted to just keep being a kid. So yeah.
Thanks. Corey, can you talk a little bit about crafting a story for 8 people, 4 relationships, in 4 different directions, and being able to put them all together and in a film that's a little bit over an hour, and really leading to a satisfying ending?
Well, thank you. I think for me, the hardest part was, I mean, the storylines. I was really kind of go back to the cliche of like writing what you know, like all of those different stories were things that I've lived through. I've lived through getting over finding out that you were in, your significant other was in a cheated on you or was in a relationship that you didn't know about. I've been in a situation of finding out that you're having a kid when you're really young. I was 27 when we had our first kid. I've been in a relationship like Marcy's and John's where the woman is super successful and crushing it at work, and how awkward that makes the man feel. Who's am I forgetting? Oh, and the on again, off again relationship of Devin and Avery's character. Like all of those things were really natural for me because they're different things that I've experienced really profoundly. The biggest challenge was besides just graphing out the gifts as far as how they could get them 3 times and end with them. I really did have to do like a whole long chart. But my goal when I set out to write it was I wanted the gifts to solve the resolution or to resolve the conflicts as much as possible. And that way it wasn't just like 2 separate movies. You had the movie with the gifts and then you had the movie with all of the, the issues that everyone was handling. And I wanted those things to be really intertwined. And once I kind of cracked that, it started to come together. But that was the biggest challenge. And, but I feel like it works in that way. So.
Yeah, I thought it worked. I want to just talk a little bit about your guys' all traditions for Christmas. Do you guys spend it more with family? Do you do white elephants? I'm only asking because I grew up in a very strict household where Christmas was not a thing, thanks to the family's Christian beliefs, and I did not actually participate in my first white elephant until this past Christmas. So I'm curious, what do you all like to do?
Well, how did it go? What gift did you end up with? Were you satisfied?
Oh yeah, no, I was super happy. We ended up we're big with board games and things like that. My girlfriend and I ended up with just this giant stack of different card games,
Ooh, that's a
and
good one.
so
A good
yeah,
one.
endless fun.
Yes, yes, good.
Thank you for asking.
Well, for me, a lot of our Christmas traditions are in this movie, So obviously the white elephant, but not gonna lie, "Try It On" has been a chant at my family Christmases for at least a decade. So that definitely came from real life.
Nice. Lana, do you want to go
For
next?
me,
Oh, go ahead.
I have never done a white elephant before, but I definitely want to start. Normally, my family, we all try to get together because everyone lives different places and they're always on the move. So we really try to just make it a time of communion with everybody. And if we get the opportunity to be really festive with the lights and whatnot, we do. And if we don't, then we don't.
Would you still be in charge of the rules?
Yes, I am. I mean, I have the older sibling syndrome, so I'm very much the rule book in life.
Nice.
I'm born and raised in LA, so my family is all here. And until I got married, we always spent Christmas together. But since I got married, my husband's family is all in Florida, so we spend, apart from this last year, every Christmas there, since we get to spend every other holiday with my family here. But it's very chill. They live right by the beach. We go on long walks on the beach every day. We do jigsaw puzzles. We do crossword puzzles. We wear pajamas for like the whole trip. And it's just very relaxing and fun. A lot of games, a lot of laughter. Not a lot of white elephanting, but sometimes.
But are you in charge of the eggnog and rum?
I don't like eggnog. Oh. So no, but I'll be in charge of the margaritas.
Right on. That sounds good. Paul?
I grew up in LA as well. My family, I would say we never really had like traditional Christmases. I think it was just more of an excuse to just get together and be with the family. I just remember like me and my brother, our parents bought us like a small little like Christmas tree, and we kept it like in our like garden area for years and years, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. So we had the same Christmas tree and we would just decorate that, and now it's like it became too big, so then we just ended up planting it in front of the house, so it's still there. So it's kind of a cool like thing to look at. But besides that, in terms of like white elephant and those kinds of stuff, I would more so do it with my friends. And like we would always get together around Christmas and just kind of celebrate Christmas together and have like white elephant or secret Santa, or like we would even play like games like Mafia or whatever it is, just to get the friends together. And that's kind of how I spend Christmas.
Very nice.
Yeah.
One of the Christmas traditions obviously is caroling, and at the end of the film, you guys have that fun moment during the end credits. Was that always part of the plan, or were you guys just in the spirit by the end and just all decided to wrap it up that way?
That was 100% not in the script, and it was something that during the rehearsal process. Devin would get out his guitar and sing, and then others would sing, and I knew CoCo could sing, and then I realized Lana has a beautiful voice, and Avery sings, and it was like math. I mean, sure, it came out that basically everyone in the cast could sing, and so for like a couple of weeks leading up to the set, to the shoot, I was thinking like, is there a way to utilize this, like all of these amazing singers? And so the caroling idea I had right at the end, like maybe even the night before the first shoot, and I pitched it, and I think the response was a little apprehensive of like, but I thought it turned out awesome. And like literally the very first, we only did like 2 takes of it, I think. And the first take of it, they like completely nailed it. And I was like, you guys are incredible. Like you've never sung together. We don't like, we just like literally looking on like our phones to read the lyrics to make sure that we're saying like, you know, the right words. And then they just absolutely crush it, you know? So it was a fun memory for me from the whole thing.
Awesome.
Well, now I'm waiting for CoCo to do her Christmas album, and then I can put I can put all those songs in the next movie.
CoCo, are you gonna do a Christmas album?
I would probably do a Christmas song. I don't know if I would dedicate a full project to Christmas.
Oh,
good old
please,
You
would
Let me
smash
get
that
my
out.
own album out first of all.
Yeah. Okay, later, but
an EP.
please do
Later.
one eventually.
Yeah, definitely. I'll
Okay.
Me and Mariah Carey, I'm coming for her. I'm coming for her
Okay,
album.
We need a new one.
Let me become a legend first.
We need a new anthem, and I think you can do it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Thanks.
I could all, all I want for Christmas. Yes, it's a classic. Feliz Navidad. Yes.
You know what? My Christmas song is going to be called White Elephant, and it's going to be a top charting Christmas hit. So just wait, stay tuned.
And it's gonna be right after that climatic moment in Corey Moss's next Christmas film.
There you go.
And, gonna be in the trailer and everything. I love it. Heard it here first, folks. Corey, thank you. Corey, Paul, CoCo, Lana, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Had a lot of fun with this movie, and I'm sure audiences everywhere will. And it'll get everybody all pumped up for Christmas a little early. But hey, everybody puts up decorations earlier anyway every year, so why not?
Right. Thank you so much for
having me. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
You all take care.
See ya.